Hello and welcome to the NHL Best Bets. Yesterday wasn't the greatest day for our picks. We had under 5.5 goals in Montreal-Toronto game. That was a 6-goal game, so slightly over. It could be also under, but say that the Carey Price that usually have been playing pretty well let few goals pretty easily at the end of the game. Montreal surprised us and maybe a few others as well, at least based on the odds that we got just before the game, and won the matchup 4-3, took second victory, and the next game ball is in Montreal home court tomorrow. Then Carolina-Nashville, very even game like predicted, overtime again, and this time quickly Nashville decided to go to the next round. Carolina won, and Nashville will go to fishing. So 4-3 this score as well, and now we know that it would be Tampa Bay against Carolina in Central Division final. Tommy, what's your take out of this one?
These games, of course, we didn't win. Both of these games could have gone either way. So Toronto started awfully in their home game. They started playing only after going down 3 goals. So it was a horrible defensive effort from the beginning from Toronto. So they gave the lead to Montreal for whatever reason. A little bit disappointing there, and also then they lost the game. So. Hats off to Montreal for not letting go, even if they were 3-1 down in this series. But I think this is a show that Toronto is doing what Toronto does. So they managed to lose these games when it matters. Let's see how it goes in Montreal. But I do think that Toronto learns from their mistakes and will bounce back from this one. But a bad loss and a bad over in that case. It should have been an under-like game, but maybe the Carey Price in the end was not as good as he usually is, and also a very bad start from Toronto, so that added up to 6 goals in the regulation. The game in Nashville was all even. Predators led 3-1. They could have held on to their lead. Sebastian Aho was the guy who brought back the Carolina into the mix, and then Carolina took the coin flip in the overtime, but like we mentioned, if you get odds of 130 something for this sort of a coin flip game, you always go for it. So this is a game that I would bet again and again and again for Nashville Predators as long as we get some profit. So in a way, it was a good pick, but of course Carolina is a tad better team, so they did deserve to win this very even series, but it was a good example that even if you're not as talented in the offense like Nashville, with the great goaltending and good defense, they can fight with these a little bit better teams as well. But let's see how Carolina will match with Tampa Bay, which is a little bit better team than Nashville is.
Yeah, I think Nashville improved quite a bit from the start of the season, where they were quite awful, and they had their playoffs ongoing against Dallas last few weeks before the actual playoffs started, so they have been playing tough games, must-win games all the time. So this was end result 6 games, but no ticket to the second round.
Yeah, they were fighting well, and they were playing the way that Nashville Predators usually play. Maybe the defense was not as good as we've seen in the past, so that was something that was a left off. But I don't think that Nashville Predators will, in coming years, either be a very offensive team. I think they will keep on building goaltending, defense, and then score goals when they have the chances. But it was a good performance from them and nothing to be ashamed of.
Yep, Nashville will go home. Carolina will go towards Tampa Bay. We'll run further simulations before tomorrow's broadcast, but what's your initial take? Carolina, fast-paced offense, but do they have tools to match against the regaining champion?
Yeah, it will be a very close matchup between these two teams. Tampa Bay already established team, of course, the reigning champions, very, very talented in every aspect of the game. Carolina, new and upcoming team, they haven't yet won anything, but they've shown that they can battle through these defensive teams like Nashville, for example. So it will be a very close one. I don't dare to say give any sort of prediction to this. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 7-game series and going either way. It's very close.
That's the initial simulation. What we did before the playoff started indicates that there is very, very even matchup. Tampa has bit better probability to win the series, but then if it goes to game 7, then Carolina has the upper hand at home. So let's see what the new numbers bring in tomorrow, and then we can analyze it a bit more.
Yeah, let's do that.
Tonight there is only one game, game 7 in matchup that you can see here. Minnesota goes to Vegas. They won now 2 games that they must win in order to continue their season. Vegas has lost 2 options to clinch this series, and now they are both facing a fishing trip by losing the next game. And it has been a bit difficult for us to find any value here, but Minnesota is clear value bet, even though they have a smaller probability to win this game. Simulations haven't liked too much Vegas throughout the season, but now it's very clear that they have a upper hand in this one. However, the value is in Minnesota. And then other pick, let's do this kind of funny pick as a second one, as there's only one game. We have run also the player props simulations for top players, and probability for Mark Stone to score 0 points is much higher than odds plus 130 indicate. So Vegas captain will have a binocular performance tonight.
Yeah, I think these we didn't exactly agree with the machine with this pick. We do think that Vegas is the more probable winner of this game. The simulations show 54% for Vegas, so Vegas is definitely at home. Of course, game 7 they have been a little bit better team in this series, but the odds are so good for Minnesota that we have to go with the Wild for 170 plus. It's been all even series, very careful play most of the parts. Vegas has shot a lot more shots on goal, but they haven't created great chances. So it's more of a goaltender battle, defensive battle. Or maybe game 7 we see completely different game. Who knows? But I wonder what sort of fishing there is in Vegas. But I do think that Vegas might win this. But still, we go with the Wild because of these very nice odds and nice value there. So that's what we do. We pick the better odds. And for Mark Stone, if the game is like it has been, very close, low scoring, it's probable that Minnesota will play their cover jackets on Mark Stone and the better players of Vegas, so they try to shut down anyone who is capable of scoring, because that's the way to stop this Vegas team. So 0 points was a nice value for plus odds there. It's about 50-50 in the simulations for Stone to score a point. So let's see how this goes. I'm expecting a very entertaining game because I like the defensive battles of the playoffs. Many others don't, but we'll see how it goes. Very, very nice to see a game 7 in this playoff series.
Yeah, this might be the last day when I can wear this outfit this season, so this option must be utilized fully. Vegas naturally is favorite here, and they have been, with some high-ranked pundits, the team to win all. But first, of course, they need to win Minnesota, and they have struggled a bit with scoring, like we discussed earlier. Max Pacioretty is still nursing his injuries, so do you think one person can make so big difference that when their top striker is out of the business, they cannot score more than they have done during the last 6 games?
Usually I would say no, but in this case it means that when Pacioretty is out, there are guys who have to then step up. And because Vegas already has quite a thin lineup, they have put their money's worth in the defense and in the goaltending department, not so much in the offense. So when you have your number one horse out from the offense, these guys that usually play third or fourth line need to step up, and this hasn't happened. And this is one of the reasons why Minnesota has been able to actually take this to Game 7, which not a lot of people believed before the series. It was supposed to be all Vegas, but Minnesota is playing so tight defense, tight marking or checking, that there is not a lot of space for Vegas offensive players to operate in the offensive zone. Even if they get the shots, they are not creating so many A-grade chances. And when you have one of the top scorers out, it of course affects somewhat the game. But the way both teams are playing, not a lot of goals are expected anyway.
Our simulations, however, predicted this series to go to Game 7 and Vegas to win it. So let's see if machine is correct again, and we can then just rewind our videos to show it that this is exactly what we said 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we have a couple of articles out there that say that before the series. So not a lot of odds makers believe that this is going to be so tough series. But the simulations have, of course, a little bit underrated maybe Vegas during the season. But Minnesota has shown that maybe there is some flaws in the system of how Vegas is playing.
Let's see how this Game 7 goes, and tomorrow we are back with few further series probability simulations when the next round of playoffs starts.
See you tomorrow.